This week in East Brunswick, we'll go to the high school for the 26th annual commencement exercises. Then it's over to Roselle Smith Elementary School for a look-in at a medieval festival held there last week. And of course, we'll have our regular features. Money tips from finance advisor Paul Hansen on mortgages. Photography tips from Bob Nemser on Quick Clicks, and a look at some summer fun. A special health facts update with Dr. Edward Blackman on vaccines, and some health facts news on diabetes from Dr. Stephen Schneider. Consumer Aware with Adrian Eisner, Director of the Township's Consumer Affairs Office. And we'll close with our Township Council review. But first, here's a look at what's on Channel 8 next week. Monday at 10 a.m. it's Look Great, Feel Great with Lenore Kulik and all aerobic exercises. At 10:30, it's Spotlight on Education with Dr. Joseph Sweeney and the choral groups from the East Brunswick High School. Tuesday at 7:30, it's Let's Talk Health with Ken Chalhoub and his guest Herb Henney, and a discussion on the exodus from academia in the medical profession. And at 8 p.m., it's financial advice from Paul Hansen on You and Your Money. Wednesday at 3 p.m., we'll begin our summer showing of the PBS-produced program for kids, Reading Rainbows. And at 8 p.m., it's Target with Paula Durant and her guest William Nolan and Fred Street discussing living with an adolescent. And we'll be back next Thursday night at 7 and 8 p.m. with an all-new This Week in East Brunswick. Just a reminder that Channel 8 does not cablecast on Saturdays during July and August. Be sure to check the Channel 8 program guide for repeats of all of our shows.
This week, over 600 East Brunswick High School seniors received their diplomas at J. Doyle Field under a perfect sky. After the invocation by Reverend Douglas Strong of the Aldersgate Methodist Church, Senior Class President Glenn Slater gave the farewell address. He was followed by Student Council President Eric Harrison. The next followed comments by James Sheeran, High School Principal, the presentation of the class by Superintendent of Schools Dr. Joseph Sweeney, and the acceptance of the class by School Board President Alan Burnham. And finally, the awarding of the diplomas.
Hello, I'm Mr. Michael J. Opeleski, Acting Director of Public Works and Water Resources. And I'm here to remind you that we have a watering odd-even system in effect between the months of May and September. The reason this odd-even system is in place is to allow you to utilize all the water that you need, but still allow the water utility to manage this very valuable resource. We are requesting a compliance with the odd-even system to ensure that you have available water for all the needs that you would request during the coming summer months. As a warning, we are issuing summonses and warnings to individuals that are not complying by the odd-even system. If you have any questions concerning the odd-even watering system, please call the water treatment plant at 390-6793 or my office at 390-6886. Thank you.
This is Paul Hansen with this week's Money Tip. When you apply for a home mortgage today, the mortgage company will almost always give you a 30-year mortgage. Did you know that it costs just about the same for a 15-year mortgage? For example, if you obtained a 30-year, 12% fixed-rate mortgage for $50,000, your payments would be approximately $514 per month for 30 years, principal and interest. At the end of 5 years, you would have paid the mortgage company about $31,000, of which about $1,000 was against principal and $30,000 were interest payments. Next time, consider a 15-year mortgage. You might think that the monthly payments would be double if you cut the term of the mortgage in half, from 30 to 15 years. They do not. The monthly payment increases slightly from $514 to just $600 per month. By paying $600 instead of the $514, you would not only have your home paid in half the time, you would have also saved yourself over $80,000 in monthly payments. There's no one better able to manage your money but you. Make the wise decision. This is Paul Hansen, host of You and Your Money, with this week's Money Tip.
Last Thursday, Smith School was transformed into the Brunswick Forest as the school's Gifted and Talented, or TAG program, wrapped up a unit on the Elizabethan era. Program Supervisor Robert Ginsberg, in his costume for the day, explains further.
Youngsters in our TAG component this year did a unit on medieval life and the Renaissance, and we thought as a culminating activity we would bring together the youngsters and some of the work they had done and have the equivalent of an old medieval or Renaissance fair from Elizabethan England, say, in the 1500s. And so that's what we've done. We've got a model of medieval village, we've got castle displays, we've got people obviously dressed up in the spirit of the times. We've got a whole bunch of booths where we've got wizards, we've got magicians, we've got strolling minstrels, we've got some activities the kids can do in terms of becoming a knight. They have to go through a certain number of different activities, a whole bunch of stuff. We've got plays both outdoors and indoors going on, but just lots of activities. Grades 4, 5, and 6 are the youngsters who are involved in the program, but we've invited their families, so it's like a end-of-year picnic for everybody as well. Over 400 said they were coming.
Hi, I'm Bob Nemser. Welcome to Quick Click's Summer Photo Fun. One of the most useful filters in photography, especially for summer photography, is the polarizing filter. It can darken a blue sky when used with either black and white or color film. It can also remove obscuring reflections from non-metallic surfaces, such as windows and water, allowing the camera to show what's behind these surfaces. When used with color film, it enriches the color saturation in a scene by reducing minute reflections that soften colors in a photograph. Reduced reflections mean reduced light reaching the film. Compensate accordingly to let more light in. Here we see the drama a polarizing filter adds to your photo. The sky becomes a deep blue which gives great depth and dimension. Graduation offers good picture-taking opportunity, even if the subject becomes impatient. July 4th is the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. There will be great fireworks displays. My best results have always been to manually set my aperture at f4 and my speed at 1/2 and 1 second. Hold steadily as possible. Summer is the time for fancy hairdos and colorful sunglasses, where portraits of happy faces are everywhere. Here, the light bounced off my body and the boy's shoulders to fill light his face that would otherwise be too dark. It is time of antique car shows, where a wide-angle lens is perfect for the sweeping lines of classic cars. But be careful of those unnoticed things that creep into the edges of your viewfinder, like the feet on the back bumper and the arm with a beverage can at the right edge. It is time for baseball, where a fast shutter speed can stop a ball in midair and a telephoto lens can capture a candid moment of a friend shutting out the world around him. A time for zoos and animal portraits and catching that magic moment where juxtaposition of God-made and man-made form a third effect. A time for love and sharing, where subjects are everywhere, waiting to pose for you, or get something to eat. It's a time to have your camera with you all the time, looking for moments in time never to happen again. Off to the amusement park, where a fast shutter and a polarizing filter gives dramatic stop action. And don't forget to observe the offbeat as this used gum wall, where roller coaster riders deposit their last chew before the big ride. Then back to more stop action and water sports, with a slight blur of the boy in midair and the slight blur on the yellow tube, not to mention the terror of apprehension on the rider's face, gives the feeling of movement. There are visits to historical places for the traditional snapshot to look back on, and of course, the visits to camp and those happy faces that know they will soon be home. Then there is the most beautiful time of day, late afternoon, when the low sun shines a warm back and side lighting with beautiful results. We're off to the beach, where a polarizing filter is a must, or stop down 1 to 1.5 stops more than your meter reading, so as not to overexpose. These boy watchers, or these potential builders of sandcastles. Don't forget those unobserved photos that are ever present, like these gulls in symmetry. As our photo day draws to a close, we begin to photograph the sun setting towards a spectacular climax, ending a perfect day. Just as the sunset ended a perfect day, this segment ends our series of quick clicks on This Week in East Brunswick. We'll be back in the fall with some specials on photography. Thank you for joining me. And what I'm going to try to do this summer is put together a couple of day trips for a shoot at the Arboretum or just the great outdoors. If anyone's interested in joining me, or anyone is interested in saying any comments on what we've discussed here on the Quick Click series, please call the library, Channel 8, at 390-6780. That's 390-6780. Thank you again for joining me. Keep clicking and have summer photo fun.
And now for Health Facts with East Brunswick resident Dr. Stephen Schneider, Associate Professor of Medicine at the University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey.
High blood sugars and diabetic coma are rarely a major problem in the modern treatment of diabetes. Instead, it is the chronic degenerative complications which now account for the vast majority of illness and premature death in this disease. Diabetic neuropathy is a gradual degeneration of the nerves, particularly those to the feet and legs. This can result in a spectrum of symptoms ranging from numbness and tingling to severe pain or foot ulceration. It is now believed that neuropathy is caused in part by an accumulation of a sugar-derived substance called sorbitol in the nerve fiber. Its accumulation can be prevented by decreasing levels of glucose in the blood. Recent research has centered on specific agents which can block the production of sorbitol. And these drugs may have a role in the prevention of not only diabetic neuropathy, but also cataracts and some forms of renal disease, which may also be sorbitol dependent. Vascular complications of diabetes are another major problem. Disease of the small vessels, or microangiopathy, causes blindness and kidney failure, while disease of the large vessels, atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries, is responsible for heart attacks, strokes, and many amputations. Smoking, high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, and physical inactivity all contribute to these complications and are amenable to simple lifestyle changes. Drugs which may protect the vessels of the kidneys, eyes, and legs are currently under development. Finally, exciting advances have been made towards the ultimate goal of curing and preventing type 1 diabetes mellitus. Transplantation of the pancreas is now being performed with increasing success and frequency, thanks to better surgical techniques and new drugs which control the body's immune system, preventing rejection. The first successful transplantation in New Jersey was performed this year. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease in which antibodies to insulin-producing cells gradually destroy them over a period of 10 or more years prior to the onset of symptoms. New immunosuppressive therapies have the capacity to decrease the severity of diabetes when they are used at the onset of clinical disease. This observation holds out the real possibility that effective immunotherapy in subjects just beginning to suffer antibody damage may one day prevent the development of type 1 diabetes altogether. For more information on diabetes, call the American Diabetes Association at 725-7878. This has been Health Facts, and I'm Dr. Stephen Schneider.
And now for a pediatric update from Dr. Edward Blackman.
This is pertussis, whooping cough. 50 years ago, this terrifying illness killed tens of thousands of babies. Today, doctors rarely, if ever, see a case. But today, we are threatened with a resurgence of cases. Whooping cough is a highly contagious, severe infection of the bronchial passages characterized by repeated attacks of spasmodic coughing, ending with a forced inspiration of air, giving the characteristic whoop. Thick mucus is produced, which blocks the breathing passages. The continuous severe episodes of coughing cause lung damage. Lack of oxygen, convulsions, and brain hemorrhages also occur. Death occurs in up to 10% of cases. Many of the survivors have severe and permanent lung and brain damage. The vaccine used to prevent whooping cough is made from the killed whooping cough bacteria. The vaccine is usually given in combination with diphtheria and tetanus toxoids and is administered to infants at 2, 4, 6, and 18 months of age, and again at age 5 years. It is known that this pertussis or whooping cough vaccine has side effects: mild irritability, low-grade fever, or soreness or redness at the injection site is common, occurring in 10 to 15 or 25% of cases. However, most infants get little or no side effects. More severe side effects can occur, such as fever of 103 or more, paleness, persistent high-pitched crying, limpness, or convulsions, but these side effects are extremely rare. An average pediatrician would have to practice for 270 years before seeing a child actually damaged by the whooping cough vaccine. It has also clearly been shown that this vaccine is not associated causally with sudden infant death syndrome. Administration of these vaccines to our children is essential to the prevention of this dread disease. However, there's a current crisis with regard to pertussis and its vaccine. Because of the cost of lawsuits associated with predictable side effects of this vaccine, 4 of 6 manufacturers have stopped producing the vaccine. On May 20th, 1986, the main manufacturer of the vaccine announced that it could no longer buy insurance to protect itself against the cost of these lawsuits, and announced a tripling of the cost of the vaccine. This translates to an increased cost of $10 to $15 per injection for parents over the cost of the vaccine previously. This and the prior misleading and inaccurate publicity regarding the side effects has caused some parents not to immunize their children. This has led to a frightening and dangerous increase in the incidence of whooping cough. The concern of the American Academy of Pediatrics has led to action on several levels. Most important of all is the education of the American parent that the whooping cough disease is far worse, as you have seen, than this generally safe, reasonable vaccine. The following immunization schedule is recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics. At 2 months of age, DTP injection and oral polio vaccine. Again at 4 months of age, DPT injection and oral polio vaccine. And again at 6 months, DTP injection and a third oral polio vaccine. At 1 year of age, a tuberculosis test. At 15 months of age, measles, mumps, and rubella combined triple vaccine. At 18 months of age, DTP injection and a fourth oral polio vaccine. At 2 years of age, the Haemophilus influenza type B vaccine. Between 4 and 6 years of age, DTP vaccine and a fifth oral polio vaccine. This has been Health Facts, a pediatric update. I'm Dr. Edward Blackman.
Hello, and welcome to Consumer Aware. I'm Adrienne Eisner, Director of the East Brunswick Consumer Affairs Office. From time to time, we hear reports of over-the-counter drugs being tampered with so that they are dangerous and sometimes lethal to the person who takes them. Here are some questions to ask when you are going to take an over-the-counter medication. Be sure that you examine the medication carefully. First of all, check to see, is the product the usual color, or does it have a strange odor? Are the capsules moist rather than dry? Are they all the same size and appearance? Do they have their normal shiny appearance, or are some dull or show fingerprints as though they were handled? If the medication is a clear liquid, does it have particles or appear atypically cloudy? Are there breaks, cracks, or holes in the outer wrapping or protective cover or seal on the products? Is the cap on an unsealed container tight? Is the bottle over or under filled? Does the shrink band around the bottle top appear to be stretched, or has it been slit or retaped? Are the instructions wrinkled, misplaced, or missing? Does the cotton plug or filler in a bottle appear to have been removed or put back? These are some important situations and concerns that you should be aware of when you are taking over-the-counter preparations. Be alert to possible tampering and avoid a senseless tragedy. If we can be of any assistance to you at the East Brunswick Consumer Affairs Office with any questions or problems, please contact us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. The telephone number is 6954. Thank you for joining me on Consumer Aware. See you again next time.
At Monday's Township Council meeting, East Brunswick Administrator Gregory Fahrenbach recommended that the Township continue to abide by the provisions of its 1984 Mount Laurel housing settlement. The agreement calls for construction of between 1,188 and 1,317 homes for low and moderate income buyers. After discussion, the Council decided to adopt the administration's suggestion and stay with the settlement. The Township will seek to extend the housing agreement, set to expire in 1990, till 1993. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching.